The first time I heard Natasha Bedingfield's Unwritten, I feel like it was like some shampoo commercial. Garnier Fructis? Was it? That's what I'm talking about. Garnier Fructis. And obviously, I know every word to that song now. Hey, Hollywood Reporter. I'm Glen Powell, and I'm here to share my Hollywood firsts. First movie I saw that made me want to make movies was Jurassic Park. I did a project on it when I was in second grade, and I became obsessed with Spielberg's use of practical effects. I studied the initial T-Rex interaction, and they're doing it in the rain. That was like, for me, I think, like the true magic trick of movies. Like, I felt like I was seeing a dinosaur for the first time. First audition I ever went on was for a reality show called Moolah Beach. It's like a kid survivor. They asked me, do you have any special talents? And I froze. I didn't have any special talents, so I just said, I can do voices. I was not on Moolah Beach. My first time I stepped on set was on Spy Kids 3D, Game Over. And I will never forget that moment. I was 13, I think. And I shot my part, and then I hung out behind camera, and I was like talking to the camera guys, I was talking to the stunt guys, and was trying to figure out what the chroma key green did, and the entire crew had the most interesting jobs on the planet, and you had endless friends on a set. I think the Spy Kids experience was really one of the best days of my whole life. Also, Spy Kids 3D was arguably Art Dune. First time I was on a red carpet was for The Great Debaters. The Great Debaters was a movie that Denzel Washington directed. Great movie about the first African-American debate team that went and took on Harvard. That was my first Hollywood premiere, and to be out with Sidney Poitier, Oprah Winfrey, Forrest Whitaker, Denzel Washington, it was like an incredible experience. And one of those movies that I felt like really mattered. Right before that red carpet, Denzel and his agent, Ed Lamato, convinced me to move out to Los Angeles. They said, you're young and you should give this a shot. You should really take the plunge. It's been really worth it. My first crazy Hollywood altercation. So I did this movie, Expendables 3. It's like Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Antonio Banderas, Wesley Snipes, Jason Statham. Somehow, I'm the random guy that snuck in. So I'm like the only unknown person in a cast of like legends. I'm in Cannes for the festival. We're driving tanks down the Croisette. They have all these character banners like that are draped on the Carlton Hotel. The funniest part was I got kicked out of the VIP section of the Expendables 3 party. It actually got kind of physical. There was a large bouncer that was convinced that I shouldn't be in the VIP section. So it kind of turned into a physical altercation where I got hit in the face at the Expendables 3 party because no one recognized me, even though there was a banner in the party of my face. So, just because you got a banner doesn't mean you're getting into the party. So the first time I heard Natasha Bedingfield's Unwritten, it would have probably been like high school for me, is my guess. I feel like it was a Garnier Fructis commercial or something like that. I have sisters. I was very aware. I feel like it's Garnier Fructis. That's what they wash their hair with. And I feel like Natasha had something to do with that. Was it? That's what I'm talking about. Garnier Fructis. I was like, we're doing this every scene. And soon enough, the whole crew got into it. Everybody loved it. But man, rough start. First rom-com I watched. I remember seeing How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days in the theater. Ooh, Legally Blonde. If we consider that a rom-com, that's my first rom-com I've ever seen. And the most quoted movie in my house growing up. Don't stump your last season Prada shoes at me, honey. Like that. The first time I flew by myself was a really special experience. My parents were in town for my birthday, and there's this really great tradition in aviation where the instructor rips the shirt literally off of your back and then writes the runway and signs it. When Tom Cruise told me that the first time, I thought he was messing with me. He's like, make sure you wear a shirt that you're okay with getting ripped. I'm like, why is it somebody ripping my shirt off after I fly? But my parents were in town, and I got to fly the pattern and land by myself. And it was just like a really special experience. So they got to be there while my shirt got torn off when I taxied back into the hangar. And, Top Gun's a movie that changed my life, and aviation is a hobby that's changed my life. My first Longhorn experience, it would have been diapers. I was born and raised a Texas Longhorn. So my mom and dad went to Texas. My grandparents went to Texas. My aunts and uncles, my little sister went to Texas. So it's like I was born to be a Longhorn. Anyone that knows me knows I rep more Longhorn gear than is healthy. When I first moved out to LA, I remember they went through my closet and they're like, you have an obscene amount of burnt orange in here. And I was like, I take that as a compliment. I did not get rid of my burnt orange, even though they asked me to. Must have been like 8 or 9. I was driving with my Aunt Taffy, and she had a car full of all of the cousins, and we were almost a part of the Gerald, Texas tornado. And if anybody knows about the Gerald, Texas tornado, it's an F5, which is the biggest and largest tornado. And we had to take shelter in I think it was a carpet store or something like that. I remember looking at my aunt for guidance on how to feel. It's something you don't really forget. Obviously, as a Texas boy growing up to go on and make Twisters, it's a movie that, as I watched as a kid, really had a big impact on me because it felt like a monster that was living in my backyard. So to make that, again, with Steven Spielberg, who I did my first school project on, it was all very full circle. For me, movies have always been my love language. It's like how I talk to my parents. Like, it's what we talked about around the dinner table growing up. And it's like how I relate to people. It's like movie quotes. So it's like the connection I have with people really has so much to do with movies. You'll have kids come up and be like, oh my God, I want to be an actor. Like, I want to do that. And you're like, yeah, that's how it happens. You see these seminal movies that change the way you think about the theatrical experience or change the way you think about what's possible on screen. Thanks for watching some of my Hollywood firsts. See you soon.